I, there we go. Recording, meeting is being recorded. Wonderful. Yes, we did. Our founding partner. Wonderful. Like I was mentioning, good afternoon, good evening. I am Jennifer Diptee, the Campus Director of Learning Resources at Miami-Dade College, the Kendall campus. I am joined today by my two awesome colleagues, Ms. Meredith Krall, our Associate Director of Learning Resources, and Yhosemar Mendez-Sanchez, the Manager of our Business, Innovation, and Technology Center. We are excited to share our story of transformation, not just through new furniture and flashy technology, although that's great, but more through a culture of collaboration and intentional capacity building. We found that when our staff see themselves as innovators, everything else follows and everything else flows. That's how we've been able to create libraries that feel cozy, that surprise students with cool and creative programming, and that prepare them for a future-ready world. So, before we get started, next slide, please. Let's do a quick poll. Feel free to scan the QR code to join our Mentimeter, or if you're having problems there, please join us at menti.com and use the code below. When you think of the future of libraries, what's one word that comes to mind? I'll give you a few seconds to kind of put something in there. Okay. Maybe we can take it. Okay, innovative. Yeah, if you're having any issues with the Mentimeter, feel free to just put it in the chat. Oh, wonderful. So let's see. We've got community. Oh, innovative, disappearing, AI, community again, challenging. Okay, relevance, worried. Okay. Wonderful. Thank you so much. And keep it coming. Keep it coming. So already this word cloud shows us that the future of libraries can be imagined in many different ways. And today we'll show you how we've grounded our vision in three interconnected themes: cozy, cool, and future ready. Next slide. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. So I'm going to share just a little bit about Miami-Dade College before we delve deeper into our presentation. So those of you who are not familiar with MDC, we are, fun fact, the largest community college in the United States. We have over 100,000 students enrolled. I think for this coming academic year, we're up to 130,000 plus. And Yhosemar, Jennifer, and I are all at the Kendall campus, which happens to be the largest campus. We have an incredibly diverse student body across all 8 campuses. For the Kendall campus, which Yo just added, Kendall's the best campus, of course. But the majority of our students are Hispanic, and the majority are also first generation college students. About roughly around 57% are first generation students. So a lot of them have never had access to certain resources, or they're just not aware of certain resources. And for them, the library is a new thing as well. So we are here to really introduce them to the library and show them how we can help them be successful while they're here at MDC. Next slide, please. Okay, so we started out and what kind of led to where we are right now with a challenge. So let me give you a little bit of background. Prior to COVID happening, we had started a renovation in our space, and it was planned using data from focus groups, surveys, input from leadership, faculty, and staff across the college. And the space was laid out in a very intentional and specific way. However, when we returned in person after COVID, we started to observe and see that students were using the space in ways that we hadn't necessarily planned for. And we were a little bit taken aback, and we had to pivot, and we had to constantly pivot to adapt to them, to be successful and to be able to reach them and impact them to where we are today. But what we have learned and our approach has shifted from what we thought it was going to be. Our approach is really focused more on empowering people. So our staff, our students, our campus partners to co-create what happens next with intention and through collaboration. You can go to the next slide. And these are just some pictures of the before and after. So the pictures on top of the screen that are kind of grayed out, you could see our space was a little bit old school. It was very about individualized work. And the pictures that are in color are the space today. Although if you walked in today, it looks even different right now because we're constantly moving things around, changing it up for events and trying to make it a fun and interactive and comfortable space for our students. You can go to the next slide.
Yeah, and this is kind of like how I fit in all this ecosystem. So as part of this kind of like shift on going in like meet students where they're at and try to find ways to innovate something that like is so familiar for librarians or for researchers at of the learning commons at our library space at the college. Jennifer and Meredith reached out to me. We have collaborated plenty of times, but they reached out to me with an ask that it was like help them with their like reimagine their staff development, right? Just to give you a little bit of background, every year, the teams of Miami-Dade College, and particularly the learning resources team, they have a retreat where they decide, like Jennifer and Meredith decide like what kind of competencies they want to strengthen in their team. And last year, this year, we had the idea of like rethinking that training and get us involved. I work at the School of Business, of Global Business here at Miami-Dade College. I lead the Business Innovation Center. And like my experience is mostly in the field of market research, product development, and service development. So we brought some of those concepts and skills to our librarians, to our staff on the library. We teach them about service design principles. We teach them about how to map out journeys for developing services, how to map out issues, right? And also something that is really important for us, how to think as entrepreneurs, because in our roles, we can be entrepreneurial and like catalyze ideas and take them, materialize them and like pilot them and see, how to bring those to life, or if it's worth it to develop new services or new events there. So like basically the focus on these trainings was to help our staff shift this mindset of like, oh, I'm just a librarian, and like understand that they could be innovators in their roles, they could be problem solvers, and they don't have to break the piggy bank or our budgets to do so. Just to give you, and in here I have a poll that I would like to share with you, that is more like an invitation for you to tell us what kind of like trainings, or like what is one way that your team builds staff capacity for innovation. Just invite you to think through those while I walk you through what we did, right? So like I said, something that we did was to bring concepts that are more familiar in the side of innovation and product development, just bring them back to the library. And we developed a series of retreats. At the beginning, what we built was just to what we tried to do was to introduce these concepts like observing or shadowing in market research. That is basically you observe your user or your clients in their normal situations, and you try to find out what's wrong or what areas of improvement are in your service. We introduce that concept to our librarians, and then we send them into a quest to map out those issues that were more, or those problems that they believe that should be addressed. And then like in the second part of our retreat, we devote some time to learn other concepts like what is a value proposition and how to articulate it effectively. And they came up with ideas of events and services that they could be put in place to let's say alleviate those issues that were first identified at the first part of the retreat. That drove us to many of the programs and event ideas that you're gonna see um, towards the end of the session. So before we go there, I want to see, like, do you guys have any time to think on like what is one way your team builds staff capacity for innovation? It's gonna be in the Mentimeter that you were completing at the beginning. You can have there like, 30 seconds and just tell us what is one way that you use for building that capacity in your team. Yeah. Let me see. It should be the same.
Again, you can feel free to put it in the chat if you prefer as well.
Yeah. Let's see. So we see one response and say we encourage our staff to create programs in things they are interested in. Nothing is out of bounds. We have a seed library now. That's really cool to have a seed library. Yeah.
Oh, you have a seed library. That's very cool. Sounds very familiar to some of our programming. We'll see.
Yeah. And if you don't have the answer, you can we can share it later. You don't have to answer now. But like during the course of, oh, look at that. There is another response there. We're regularly doing skill shares between staff to introduce new ideas and encourage cross-discipline conversations. That's really good. That's something that we're also very passionate about, how to bring more cross-disciplinary collaboration and engagements. You're gonna see some examples of that also here today. Let me just drag this here. So cozy, cool, and future ready, right? So many of the ideas that came up during those retreats, they became part of our program, and some of those are now like legacy programs that are repeated, like year after year. Just to give you a blurb of those, so cozy is really about like try to foster this sense of belonging. Many of the students, they are like trying to find, that third place between house and home to be themselves, to connect with other people, to find help. Cozy is really about that. And an example that I wanted to share with you is that like in the week of like towards the finals, my colleagues here, they made like a station with free coffee, tea, and light refreshments for students to keep, like keep themselves fueled to get those finals exams and get some A's and B's and C's. We know that B's and C's also get degrees, but like, they did it like as much as they can, and like between our budgets, just create that coziness and that support space. School is really about surprise them even in places that they will not expect, like expect you to be, even outside the library. And then future ready, which is one that I'm very, very passionate about. That is really about like prepare students with the skills and tools and opportunities they need to succeed, not only in their professional paths, in their academic paths, but also in life. So you're gonna see also another poll, and sorry if I move too slow because I am putting the polls together. That is gonna be like which of these things more resonate with you? We're talking about cozy, and there is like a emoji of a coffee there that is cool. Then you have a joystick, kind of like like something for video games, and future ready. That is really about catalyzing your future. So there's a lot of responses going there. 2 responses. I'm gonna drag that to see where you guys stand. Please tell us there. People are like interested in future ready, cozy. What else are you guys interested in? More future ready.
Being future ready.
Yeah. Nobody really leaning into cool. We're not too cool, guys. We're not too cool for this audience. Like future ready. And the thing is that like Oh, the code of the Mentimeter, it should be 56A16623. I like after this slide, I can write it down also for you. Yeah. And we can come back to the responses later. Yeah. This is just like to have an idea where you're interested in, and if you have like a concrete question from some of the things, I'm gonna leave that there, and when you guys have time, you can look it up. So let's start with cozy.
Okay, so cozy, we saw some of you like to be cozy too. And as Yo mentioned, it's really just about bringing warmth and comfort and a space of belonging for our students. And so you could just see some images from different ways that we've tried to make the space cozy and less clinical. One of the things that we did where we have our mascot Finn, he's reading in the stacks, but you can't really tell from this picture. We made one side of the library, our books specifically have more of our popular titles, and we have a really nice manga and graphic novel collection as well, and students really, and a big YA section. And so we kind of separated those books out from the academic side of the library, and they've really made that area their cozy space where there's chairs moved in between the stacks and they just sit there and read when they can. We love to bring dogs in. That's a huge draw for our students so that they could just de-stress and hug a dog and kind of disconnect for a minute and have a nice friend to hug. And then we got rid of a lot of our old library carrels, and we have these little study pods now. And they actually come in the morning and put their space in them and stay there all day. And some students like to take naps in them as well. But then we also have some events just to bring the coziness in. So really it comes through decorations. We tried to do some engagement events for creative writing and literacy. So we've done blackout poetry. The seating, students just move the seats all around and study however they like or make it work for them. And then of course snacks. And then we have our Road to Finals, which is a college-wide event that we do every semester. And so we always like to have a theme. Maybe this is more cool, but that kind of resonates with something that's going on in pop culture. So the last one we did was for Wicked, because the movie was coming out at the time. So you can go to the next slide.
Thank you, Meredith. And so a little bit about cool, probably the wrong person to be talking about the cool section, but it's okay. But this pillar really shows how creativity and collaboration really do bring new energy into the library. And cool really is about connecting with students in creative, unexpected ways that make the space, make the library, make the learning commons come alive. So at our campus, we've leaned into programming that sort of breaks the mold of what you expect to happen in a library. And some of these are meant to spark curiosity, some are meant to connect to students, and some are meant to just surprise and, hopefully they come back again and again. And this obviously could not be done without your team, without your staff of friendly librarians and tutors and staff. So some of our favorites, and you'll see some of our photos, a zombie apocalypse research strategy, which really, it turns survival scenarios using a theme like zombies into lessons on evaluating information and using library sources. Our graphic novel collection, which generates a lot of traction on its own, but you pair that with an author discussion and students get to share their interests. It really does work well. It opens doors to new collections, but also allows them to talk critically and explore literacy in different ways. Our shelfie moments, you'll see on the top left, we had all of our staff members participate, and it's just fun. Students were asking us, how they could participate in something like that as well. You'll see our Library Olympics, which combine fun, teamwork, and problem-solving skills. And we have a number of creative writing challenges throughout the year. This one coming up this year is our Ghost Story contest, but we've had many others in the past. Each of these programs, you'll see, it's fun, but it's also purposeful. They do teach research skills, they foster creativity, and they build a sense of belonging, reminding students that libraries are spaces of possibility. And here's the real key, that this cool programming isn't just about a one-off event. It's about collaboration. We partner with faculty to tie activities back to the course content. We work with student organizations to bring in that cultural celebration and those trends to the library. And we collaborate across campus, hence our partner, from BIT, where, whether it's wellness, technology, or business, we're helping design programs that really resonate with our student lives, both in and outside of the classroom. So pretty much you'll see that cool is not just entertainment, but it really is a strategy for engagement. And that's where students get to see that we are relevant, that we are exciting, and, it's a place to discover where our cozy spaces will become future-ready tools. And I do see, tell us about Shelfie Day. We'll put some details in the chat, and we'll circle back.
I just want to, before we go to the next slide, that
Yep.
none of our students was eaten by the dinosaurs in the costume day.
Disclaimer, yes.
It was just a big disclaimer. A student taco was not eaten. Let me just continue for future ready. Yeah, every time I miss the Halloween and the costume things. I don't know why.
We're big Halloween fans.
They're very big Halloween fans, guys. That's big disclaimer. So future ready. So we talk about coziness, we talk about how cool the library could be, and we talk about future ready. Something that like we're definitely passionate about is how can we make like libraries evolve, and like you see meet students where they are, engage them in things like zombies, because Last of Us was released earlier this year because of Wicked, because they want to distress with the dogs as well. But in everything we do, we always try to embed that those skills for the future, right? Adaptability, flexibility, soft skills. So something that we really are passionate about is on how can we blend technology, soft skills that sometimes are often overlooked, like public speaking, like innovation, like entrepreneurship, and many of the things in our programs try to do that, right? Like try to embed those competencies there. One thing that we have done is workshops on topics like negotiation, also in crafting your creative hustle, that is basically like a branding workshop introduced to art students that maybe they are learning about arts, history of arts, and they know how to do their craft, right? And maybe they know how to do their music or their performing arts, but they don't have courses on business. So it's like, how can you teach somebody that is not like business major about branding and like putting their pitch out there so they can present and articulate how they are different or stand out from others, right? So like those are the kind of programs that we bring. Also, in one of our classes, one of the professors, now we have VR technology, VR headsets at the library, and one of our business professors wanted to show students the potential of this technology, because most of them, like 80% of them, they haven't tried this technology. So we met in the classroom of the students, we brought that technology, and we gave them a series of scenarios where they can explore that technology, also bringing community members. So you have here a panel, women in technology. These were women in leadership roles in technology companies. Also a panel that we have with female entrepreneurs, CEOs of startups, and so on. And also panels that were like more focused on the future of careers, right? In this case, we have a doctor that he was talking about investment in health tech, and like how students could, even if they come from science backgrounds, they could have a career in business, and their knowledge, it's really, really important to be able to commercialize technology, right? And you name it, we have student showcases where students have to present their work. So it's just like exercises and things that provide students with the space for them to strengthen all their skills. They are not maybe like super reinforced in the classroom.
Okay, I know we're a little short on time, so we just wanted to share really quickly some practical strategies for library innovation. We're not going to have time to go through all of them. But I think for us, some of the biggest impacts have been our collaborations. That's how we've been able to expand our reach and really impact students. One of our most recent and most successful ones, we collaborated with a student club, the National English Honor Society, and by working with them, we were able to bring a little free library to our campus. So that was a huge impact through collaboration. And then really quickly, just when it comes to culture, one of the things we've had to learn is that we need to fail in order to really make things successful. But we can go to the next slide. And we had a really quick data snapshot to share too, just so you could see our reach. The previous academic year, we had over 115,000 student sign-ins to the space. And we tried to collect data as much as possible in a variety of ways. Students, we've learned, do not like taking surveys, so we've gotten more interactive and have them do library polls where they get to vote with popsicle sticks, and they like giving feedback that way or through a suggestion box, but they do not like taking our email surveys, so we've kind of had to trick them into it to get our data. But we can go to the next slide because I know we're short.
Well, there's so much that we wish we could share, but due to time constraints, we will need to wrap up. But we would like to invite you to reflect on this. What's one small step that you could take back to your own library to foster innovation? And as you think about that, in closing, on behalf of Meredith, Yhosemar, and myself, thank you for joining us today. Libraries don't need a rebrand. What they need are librarians and staff who are flexible, resourceful, creative, and above all, collaborative, which we know we all are. When we build staff capacity and cultivate partnerships, that's when cozy, cool, and future-ready stop being just ideas and start becoming the daily experience of our students and faculty. Thank you.
And if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. We're getting a lot of requests about the Shelfie Day. So Shelfie Day happens in January. I'm going to try to find the date for the next year. And then Jennifer, maybe you could share more just about how we've done it. We've started, or yeah, you can.
It can kind of morph into different ways. And so different themes throughout the years have been highlighting tutors, highlighting librarians, what your favorite books are. You take a picture. In essence, you pretty much take a picture at your favorite shelf or with your favorite book. In this case, this is the trend hashtag book face, where you grab a book and you try to merge your face or a body part, your face, your hands, and we have a whole bunch of them, with the book. So it's almost seamless. You are one with the book. And that was a really popular one for us.
Yeah, and I think it got a lot of interest too, because we asked our social media team to post them on our college Instagram page. And so that's where students saw it. So I think this year we're going to invite them to do it with us, so they can be part of it. Are there any other questions?
I think that like some takeaways, people are just saying that they want to lean into more cool and bring more surprises to their libraries, which I think is amazing. Yeah.
So
Wow.
one question in the chat would be interested in how we related research to themes like zombie apocalypse. Well, so to our benefit, that's where the cool element came in, where we knew we hire a lot of student assistants, which are student workers, and they are so wealthy with ideas, and they're the ones that share the trends. So, we can't take credit there, but they do tell us what they're watching, what they're listening to, and we really do infuse that into the programming. So in this case, the movie or the series on Netflix was coming out, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, Yhosemar, that was happening.
Yeah, that was coming on, like The Last of Us is
The
called.
Last
It's
of Us,
also a
right?
video game that
Mhm.
it turns into a show.
And we saw that we were struggling with one of our library instructions on research, and we said, you know what, why not kind of fuse them together and kind of put them under this zombie survival mode, and it flew. It honestly did so well. We've done it already for like an English class, we've done it for business, on an entrepreneurship class, and a summer camp as well. We did it over the summer with a summer camp of young.
And it was done in my class as well, just for introducing students to, I teach a project management here at the college, and it was introduced to the students because they needed to learn how to use our databases for their case studies. But like in week 2, one of the activities we have was to do the challenge with the library. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know, Jennifer, you might have already said this, but we had it both with a class collaboration, but we've also tried it as just an event, and students signed up on their own, and there were some who did it on the spot, so we kind of had to flex for them, but others came prepared. So we're going to do it again. It's been a really successful activity, but I believe we're out of time.
Until the next one, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Hey everyone, thank you for your presentation. Don't forget to end the recording and then we're all set.